Interesting times in the politics of Zamfara State as more controversies are thrown up after Governor Matawale's defection from the PDP to the APC. And more reactions continue to trail the nomination of Ms. Lauretta Onochie by President Buhari as INEC National Commissioner. Tonight, we'll look at the pros and the cons of the matter. Hello everyone and welcome to Politics Today on Channels Television. I'm Sean Kimbaloye in Lagos. It's Friday. But before we get into a discussion for tonight, let's serve you with some of your political roundup stories.
Will continue.
The Delta State Governor, Ifeanyi Okowa, has faulted the persistent delay in constituting the Niger Delta Development Commission Board by the federal government on excuse of ongoing forensic audit of the commission. The governor, who was speaking during the visit by the South-South Zonal Working Committee of the People's Democratic Party in Asaba, insists the forensic audit was about past activities of the NDDC and should not, therefore, jeopardize the progress of the commission.
In our call, as we have done severally as South-South governors, to call on Mr. President to quickly reconstitute the board.
Crisis appears to be looming in the Adamawa State chapter of the All Progressive Congress over the leadership as the party prepares for its congresses across the country. Following the dissolution of the party structures of the APC, members have returned to the drawing board for the election of new leaders. This development, however, is setting members against each other. This is the reason for this gathering of a group of APC Youth Integrity Group from Newman Federation of Adamawa State. They are having this press briefing to draw attention over reports of endorsing a candidate for the state chairmanship position in Adamawa.
The said group was not speaking the mind of the collective members of APC in our zone.
Let's talk about the future of
the Cross River State Governor, Professor Ben Ayade, has advised the state's political elites to refrain from playing too much politics and rather focus on what should be done to turn the economic fortunes of the state around. The governor was speaking to leaders of the APC in the state, where he explained that politicians should engage in creating job opportunities for the teeming young population in the state, rather than to have advantage over one another.
How can a nation watch young people take arms against our nation and you are celebrating it because you think that will make APC to lose?
The Kwara State Governor Abdurrahman Abdurrazak has flagged off infrastructure projects across 600 schools in the state. A development, he said, has turned the page in the history of basic education after many years of official blacklist by the federal government. At the flag-off ceremony in Ote Town of Asha local government, the governor said the projects are a combination of the 2014 to 2019 Universal Basic Education Commission (SUBEB) interventions that got stuck as a result of the previous administration not fulfilling its obligations, as well as diverting the matching grants it received in 2013.
There will be a total remodeling of 24 schools.
And as part of efforts to address youth unemployment and gender inequality in Akwa Ibom State, Governor Udom Emmanuel has launched a skills acquisition initiative to equip female youth with relevant skills, which, apart from making them profitably engaged, will also make them employees of labor.
Good news and bad news this chilly Friday, but should I shoot with the good news first? I guess so. The 6 students and 2 members of staff of Nuhu Bamali Polytechnic Zaria Kaduna State who were kidnapped by bandits have been released. They were released last night at an undisclosed location in Kaduna. The public relations officer of the Polytechnic, Abdullahi Shehu, who confirmed the development to Channel Television, says the kidnapped students and staff secured their freedom after their parents and relatives negotiated with the bandits. He, however, did not say specifically if any ransom was paid or not. Bandits had on June 11th, 2021 attacked Nuhu Bamali Polytechnic Zaria in Kaduna State and kidnapped the victims from their hostels and staff quarters. They also killed 1 student during the operation. And the bad news is that at least 40 people have been killed by bandits in 5 communities of Faro district in Maradon local government area of Zamfara State on Thursday, earlier today. The affected communities are Sauni, Gidan Bauche, Gidan Adamu, Gideonwari and Gideon Medawa. According to a resident in the area, the bandits who were riding over 100 motorcycles stormed the communities around 11 a.m. earlier on the morning of today, shooting sporadically and killing over 40 persons in the process. According to the resident, the military came to the aid of the communities but could not totally repel the attack because they were outnumbered by the bandits. Some of the dead bodies have been buried yesterday, while the remaining are buried this morning. We stay in Zamfara State, but this time into the politics of it. Last month, Governor Bello Matawale of Zamfara State dumped the PDP for the APC, and the PDP is not finding that funny at all. As the APC welcomes the governor into the fold, it appears some trouble is brewing. The dust raised by the recent defection of the governor has not yet settled, and the youth wing of the APC is asking the leadership of the party to consider the expulsion of Senator Kabiru Marafa over what they describe as anti-party activities in the state. The defection of Governor Bello Matawale last month threw the state chapter of the party into some form of leadership crisis, as both Senator Marafa and other APC stalwarts in the state argue or debate over who becomes the leader of the party in the state. Meanwhile, the youth wing of the party is insisting that the APC constitution confers the leadership of the party on the governor and asking the National Working Committee of the party to take urgent steps toward anyone who acts against the interests of the party in the state. Take a listen to them.
As someone who took the party to court in 2019, something that led to our losing the whole state in 2019, Marafa ought to have been expelled from the party. We understand the party has been exercising restraint on this issue, but it is now time to do something about the incessant antagonism against the party by this individual. Kabiru Marafa has never been a party man, and this is why the latest efforts of the party leadership, especially the caretaker chairman, His Excellency Mema Buni, to restore the fortunes of the APC in Zamfara State has again met us with stiff opposition. As young people of the party, we will no longer take any untoward action against the party interest by Kabiru Marafa or anyone else for that matter. No single politician, no matter how highly placed or influential, should feel indispensable. Rules are rules. This party was built on a foundation based on the rules.
That is some of the youth of the APC at the press conference yesterday. So I have Senator Kabiru Marafa. He joins us from our Abuja studio on some of these issues that have been thrown up. It's good to see you again, Senator Marafa, and thank you so much for joining us. You heard the allegations against you, Senator, and one we wonder where to start from. Perhaps, first and foremost, let's clear the air. Who is the leader of the APC now in Zamfara State?
Thank you so much, Mr. Sheon, my friend that abandoned me because I moved into a sabbatical, political sabbatical. Mr. Sheon, let me start on a sober note of condolence, to my state. Let me use the opportunity to condole the government and the people of the Zamfara State over the unfortunate incident that I have just watched now, the killing of more than 40 people in Faru, in Maradu local government. I sincerely sympathize with the families, and my heartfelt condolences, like I said, to the government and the people of Zamfara State. May their gentle souls rest in perfect peace, and may Allah bring an end to this unwanted killings and destructions that we have been suffering, for more than for almost a decade now, and that is gradually engulfing the whole region. May their gentle soul rest in peace. Now, coming back to business, like you said, I think let me just put the record straight. Nobody is in contention as to who is the leader of APC in Zamfara State or anything. Nobody is fighting over that. To me, honestly, I think it is quite belittling, you know, to the governor. If I am the governor of a state and somebody says he is fighting with me over a leadership of a political party, Mr. Shaun, I accept the fact that Matawalle is the governor of Zamfara State, and by that, he is my governor. And he is the governor of everybody that comes from Zamfara State, regardless of the party, religion, whatever he does. So now reducing the whole thing to leader of a party, I think is arrant rubbish. So that's not what we are talking about. Nobody is talking about leadership of the party. Issues we discussed and that we disagreed upon, you know, are different. What you are seeing in Zamfara today, you know, is I can say you are seeing it is an arena, a stage where about 3 actors are playing. Now, those talking about these leadership issues, you know, there are people fighting, you know, a certain people within the APC itself. They are not concerned about the governor. They don't care about the state. They don't care about anything. They have some problems, you know, and as to grind with some people within the APC itself. And I think I don't need to even go that line, you know, what happened. If you take from the time of APC, the beginning of the registration of APC, if you knew what happened that time, and you now just support this issue, you know, of party leadership, you would know who I'm talking about. Now, the second group, you know, is the group that feels, you know, as long as some people are in a particular grouping, their ambitions, you know, is threatened. So as long as this, you know, they will continue to brew problems, you know, until when, you know, they see one, you know, engulfing everybody. Then the third group, and which I believe is the group that I belong to, is the group, you know, that has control over their ambitions. The group that has the state in their minds is the group that want to see Zamfara, you know, going, you know, onto the next level. Now, nobody said he is fighting another person over who is the leader of APC. Like I said earlier, if you are a governor and somebody asks you to come and, you know, protest or fight some people over who is the leader of a political party, I think that he or she, you know, is bringing you down. Because if you are just leader of APC, if I quit APC today, are you my leader again? The answer is no. But as long as I remain an indigent of Zamfara State, the governor of the state, whoever he is my leader. And I have never contested that. And I have never said that I disagree with that, or I have never said that I don't recognize that. So please, the issue of who is the leader, you know, it is an idea, it is a project of a particular person, you know, being surrounded by some people that want to fight another person, you know, to whatever level. So, and I don't think at this stage now I will reduce myself, you know, to that kind of politics. I think I have grown far above that. So please, let us not talk about leadership of the APC. If anybody can be appointed leader of the APC, and I'm ready to work with him as long as he or she is a member of APC.
Including Governor Yari. Have you resolved your differences with Governor Yari?
I'm sure you have seen it. The party did what they were supposed to do, you know, belatedly. But even at that, I'm sure you saw it on television when the party invited the two of us, listened to both sides and made peace amongst us. And since then, I have accepted Yari, you know, as even the leader of my group, you know, and he accepted me also, you know, as a bona fide member, you know, of his own group. So I don't have problem with that. I think it is people that suffers inferiority complex that always has issues with who leads them or where. I don't care, even if it is my son or anybody, even my driver. If you say he is the leader of the party, I'm sure there must be a reason why you make him leader. And as long as he will respect me, I don't think where I have problems. So you can appoint anybody as leader of APC. I don't give a damn to that. It is, everybody knows who I am, and I know who you are also. I accord you your own respect, depending on who you are and what you do. And that's all. So it's not about that. It is a proxy war. Some people are fighting, and I'm afraid, the governor needs to shine his eyes, needs to sit up. He is, I think, the greatest casualty if that persists.
I mean, some people in your party are perhaps not still happy with you because the allegation is that you were majorly responsible for the APC losing out in 2019 election.
That is absolutely incorrect. It's absolutely not correct. I have watched them just now because I didn't have time for them. I think I saw some youth here. I would borrow the words of who is, I think, is it Governor Payoshe that talked about stomach infrastructure. So I hope they are well paid. Mr. Shaun, let me tell you, I know who I am and I know my worth. I was a distinguished senator of the Federal Republic for 8 years in this country, and I'm a holder of commander of the order of Naya, CON, so I know who I am. So I cannot reduce myself, to some misinformed young men that feels, they can just join issues with anybody, without respect. Let me tell you, they are misinformed in the sense that I did not go to court. I didn't sue APC. People need to know this. I think I have said it even in this studio. Yari conducted an illegal primaries that time. And he went to court and asked court to legalize the primaries. And I joined, as an interested party to say that, look, Mr. Governor, you didn't conduct primaries because I was an interested party. So this is what they need to know. I didn't go to court, no. He went to court in Gusau. I joined in Gusau, and Yari won in Gusau. Then I appealed in Sokoto, and I won in Sokoto. Then Yari went to Supreme Court. So he went to court twice, I went to court once. So if it is a crime to go to court, I'm afraid then I don't know where this country is going to. Looking at young men, accusing somebody of going to court to fight for his right. I don't know. They want us to resort to killing one another, I don't know. The most civilized thing to do by anybody when you are aggrieved is to go to court, for God's sake. So what is wrong about it? I have never blamed Yari for going to court. And he has never blamed me for going to court. We are best of friends now. We are best of, even the governor, we are all best of friends. These things are not personal. They are purely political. And like I said, I am not a slave to my ambition. I control my ambition. Completely is under my control. So what you hear people talking about is not about who is the leader of APC. I will tell you, and the history is going to vindicate me. I am one single individual that I can say brought this issue that you are seeing that we are talking today. That is the, what do we call it, of the governor from PDP to APC. What people doesn't know is everybody has what he values. What I value, Senator Marafa, is respect. I hold my integrity, very, very seriously and with very, very high esteem. So I was approached, and let me put it on record here. I was totally taken care of. If it is about what somebody wants, about ambition and everything. But I said no. Now, if this is what you people want to do, now this is the best way to go about it. I was working on what I called 3 Ws. I was working on win, win, win for the 3 groups. My group, the group that wants to see Bello Mutawale in APC, and Bello Matawalle himself. What you are seeing today is at best maybe win-win or win only. Now, I was the one that proposes the 3 wins, and I'm sure someday, somewhere, somebody would come and talk about this thing. So when I was approached
Senator,
with very, very good offer, very, very good offer, now I said, look, if this is what you are, my friends, at the national level, so if this is what you want and these are your reasons, I agree with you. Now, let us work on win, win, win. That is win for you at the federal level. That is the people that want the governor in APC. They have their reason of wanting to have a governor in APC. The governor also has his own interest. Now, let us see how can he actualize that interest within the context of what you are doing today. I have interest, and my group have interest. That is the Yari group. Now, how do we get our own interest? And I discussed it with these people, and they said, perfect. But the problem is, there are some people that are opposed to the governor decamping into APC. I said, okay, and they have tried their best, to persuade them to let this thing happen. I said, okay, that is you. I didn't know about it. Now that you have spoken to me, I'm not after the position given to me. I'm not after anything offered to me. Now, I fought this battle for 2 years, and nobody said anything. That today you feel I'm important and I can bring about something. Give me chance to go and try. And they said, perfect. You are allowed to go. I was the one single-handedly that sat Yari and told him that, look, this is what I was told. And this is what people want us to do. Now, what is your problem about distance? And he told me his problems. Mark you, Yari was governor of the Zamfara State for 8 years. He's not going to become governor again. He's not going to do anything. So if there is anything, maybe he's going to now represent a fraction of the Zamfara State. And after about 4 hours of deliberations, me and him, we now agreed that, look, having seen several examples shown in our lives, when you start even from 1999 to date, if you look at Chief Obasanjo, wrongly condemned, I believe, working from prison to the villa. You look at Chief Jonathan, the former president, from being deputy governor, the vice president, looking at Ara-Adua, how he just manages his affairs in Katsina State, doesn't care about anybody. And from nowhere, you look at the gladiators at that time, you look at the amount of resources they spent, the amount of work they put in, to become president, and God made these people presidents. And looking at, most recently, you look at Bello Matawalle, that became a governor 4 days before the swearing in of, a governor that won election. Showing there is no need for anybody now to fight over position.
Okay,
now,
so
God
Senator,
has shown, in very clear terms. Yes, let me finish. That he controls power and he gives it to whoever he wants. So now, we now agreed with Yari that, okay, if this is it, I sold the idea of the 3 wins to him. And he saw reason with it. We said, okay, I think that time, the day I was, those my friends, consulted me, it was less than a week, to the Tuesday, the governor did come to APC. I think about 5 days. So we now drew up a timetable and said that, okay, if we are to get these 3 Ws, that is the win, win, win. Now, the date, this Tuesday date that they fixed, is not convenient because we need to talk to our people. We need to carry our people along. They are not our servants. They are not our slaves. We are not paying them. And they are the asset of this game we call politics today. So we now said that we are going to hold a meeting, if I remember exactly, on a Thursday. I think Friday. I think they talked to me on a Wednesday or so. So we agreed to hold a meeting of the top most group, on Thursday. Then we call the meeting of stakeholders, which is about 35 people on Monday. Then we would call the wider group consisting of everybody, about 500 people. Then we will assemble them either in Abuja or Kaduna, to tell them, the intention of our friends at the federal level, their foresight, what they are seeing, and why they want the governor to come. And this is our own proposals to you. Now, so we asked for additional, maybe for them to shift the date from Tuesday, to allow us have that meeting on Saturday. Then after Saturday, we told them we would be ready for you. You come and sit at the middle. Let the governor, His Excellency Bello Matawale, and his group sit by one side. Then Yari and his group to sit at the other side. Now, we do give and take. Mr. Governor, what do you want from us? We hold the party. Nobody can deny us that right. Nobody. He holds the government. Nobody can deny him that right. He is the governor of the state. So what do you want from us? This is what we want from you. So that you would, and we even talked now everything, including 2023. You can ask Yari, he's alive. You can ask so many people. So what do we want to do? Then we agreed on that one. And these people said that the Tuesday date is sacrosanct, that they cannot change it. We found that very, very strange and disrespectful, for want of a better word, for God's sake. Now, but even at that, we now went back to the drawing board. I said, look, since these people have respected us now and talked to us in this matter, let us see how we can make this things work. Now, we now again approached them and said, okay, now we cannot do anything without talking to our people. That is also is sacrosanct to us. We cannot. Therefore, since you said the Tuesday date is sacrosanct, okay, go and do your ceremony or do your exercise in Gusau. Finish whatever you are doing. Then when you come back, you invite us. By then, we must have finished our consultations and everything. And mark you, while they were doing it, we were in Kaduna with all these people. So we would talk to our people. If you are true with what you are doing, then we are saying that we must sit down and dot all the I's and cross all the T's. Because me, Sheun, that you see me here, a small me, now, I respect agreements. Once we agree with somebody, this is it, I abide by it. And if we don't agree, there is nothing you can do about it. Now, again, they said, no, we would not do that, that we have to pack all of you to go. So for God's sake, I'm not anybody's servant. I'm not. Politics is not slavery. It's not. So I said that I was not going to go. So I would not go. For some reasons, Yari was prevailed upon to go to Gusau. My senior brother, my friend, my colleague, and somebody that I respect, the governor of Kaduna State, Malam Nasir El-Rufai, was approached, and he was asked to talk to me because I took a very, very firm stand that if Yari goes to Gusau, that is the end of our politics together with him. This is what I told him, point blank. I told him that. Now, the governor of Kaduna State called me and said that, Marafa, look.
Senator, just a moment, Senator, just a moment. We need to take a break. But when we come back, we'll wrap up with you because we need to move on to other business. So just stay with me for a few moments. We'll be back after this break, everyone. Join us again. Thank you so much, everyone, for staying with us. Our concluding moments with Senator Kabiru Marafa on the situation in Zamfara State. Senator, if you can wrap up just in a few seconds so that we can take a final question with you.
Okay. Sheun, so like I said, looking at the time, so Malam Nasir El-Rufai, the governor of Kaduna State, intelligently intervened, and I accepted his intervention. He assured us that, okay, we are going to Gusau. After the program, we are going to come back and we will sit with you, because he understood clearly what I said, and he said this is the best way to go about it. So now, upon coming back, Malam Nasir was so appreciative of what we did, and he said that he wanted to host our stakeholders in Kaduna, and he did in his council chambers. He thanked everybody for what we have done and promised that this, meeting of the three of us, would be assured. So, Mr. Sheun, What you are seeing today, as all the people you see around the governor today, are the enemies of the governor. I'm telling you this, take it, write it, put it down, and one day you will call me and say that this is what I told you. Now, the 3 Ws that I work is the only thing that would see, the interest, our own interest, their interest, and most importantly, the governor's interest. And that is what a lot of people now are fighting. But the governor, maybe he needs a lot of prayers to see, what I am seeing from outside. He is inside now. But I can assure you, most of the people you see, they are fighting their own war and their own interest. We are the ones that are saying that, look, we don't want to enter something that tomorrow somebody will come and say we have breached this thing. So the issue of who is the leader is errant rubbish. Nobody is talking about leader. Who is leader when you are governor? I have given an example. At the federal level today, I have never had, or I have had President Buhari severally refer to Ashwazu as the leader of APC. And that it didn't diminish anything about President Buhari. In Lagos, if you go today, the leader of APC in Lagos is Aswaju, not my friend, the governor there. In Ogun, it is Chief Bisi Akande. So who is talking about leader? Now, the people that are talking about leader are the people around Bello Mutawale that doesn't want Bello Mutawale to succeed, that want to see Mutawale out of office by any means, and I am not one of them, and I will not participate, and I would not be intimidated by anybody. Now, the people that you saw on television that you have shown me, the young men that you have seen, I know who sent them. I think my friend is Alfred. He is G3. That is Mema Labuni, because I told him in very, very clear terms that if we are pushed to the wall, and you would see it, there are people amongst us that would ask, the legality of his being a chairman. So he is the one that sponsored those kids, to come on television to say what they said. I am not afraid of being expelled from APC, for God's sake. I said it times without number. I made APC. APC didn't make me. I did everything for APC. APC didn't do anything for me. Nothing. When APC came into being, I was a senator of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. And I participated. I fought with my friends. I fought with everybody. David Mark was there. You can ask him, how we fought on the floor. There is nothing we didn't do to make APC. Right. And for God's sake, somebody is coming today to say that you would be suspended. For God's sake, anybody that can suspend me from, expel me from APC, Allah, he should not allow me to sleep in APC today. If you think APC is politics, what is important to me is the people of Zamfara State. I thank them most profoundly. They are with me. They love me. They believe in me. And I believe in them. And that is what matters. It is not APC. I am doing favor to APC. APC is not doing any favor to me, for God's sake. So the young man, sponsored by him, he should be rest assured. I am not the one that will go to court. Mr. Shewan, I have proved all the points now. There is no war now for me to fight. The next war that is going to be fought in Zamfara, it's not going to be fought by me. It's not going to be fought by even people. It is God's war. It's not my own, and it is not for anybody.
Senator Marafa.
Let Memala go to, what do you call it? He should go to sleep. I am not his enemy. I am only telling him the truth. And if he continue pushing, he and his people, now they would see what I'm talking about. It is going to happen, and Nigerians are going to see it. And it is not Senator Marafa that is wrong.
All right. Senator Kabiru Marafa, we need to.
With Senator Marafa is, I have courage. I have courage to tell people the truth, and I would say it, and I've said it, and I'm going to say it times and times and
Senator Marafa, we need to leave it at that. Thank you so much. There are a lot of questions that I cannot ask you because time is not on our side any longer. But thank you so much indeed for coming tonight. Senator Kabiru Marafa, a former federal lawmaker in Zamfara State. Thank you so much for your time tonight. Let's switch gears now. The Senior Special Assistant to the President, Mrs. Lauretta Onochie, says that she is not a member of the ruling All Progressives Congress, APC. She said that when she faced the committee, INEC committee in the Senate during our screening. She faced the federal lawmakers during a screening exercise by the Senate Committee on INEC for appointment as INEC National Commissioner. Take a listen to our defense there.
Mrs. May Agbamuchembo is from Delta State, but she was nominated. She's married to somebody from Cross River State, and she was nominated to represent Cross River State, not Delta State.
Are you a current member of any political party, madam?
Since 2019, when President Muhammadu Buhari won his second term, I have removed myself from anything political, not even anticipating that I will be here today defending my nomination to INEC. It was never in my, I never envisaged it, but here I am. Since 2019, I have not had anything to do with any political organization in this country. Even Buhari support organizations, I have not had anything to do with them since 2019. So when APC decided to do a proper registration of their members and to revalidate their membership, I did not take part in that exercise. So as I'm sitting down here, I am not a member of any political party in this country.
You swore to an oath, an affidavit, rather, in the High Court of the Federal Capital Territory. I don't know whether it is. I would want you to take a look at this document and confirm whether it is your own or not. In paragraph 3 of that affidavit, it said that I am also engaged in active politics and a member of the Neighborhood Watch, and has also contested the local government elections under the Conservative Party in the United Kingdom. I am also a member of the All Progressives Congress and a volunteer at the Buhari Support Organization.
There is nothing wrong I can see in the appointment of Madam as INEC National Commissioner. All the points, according to the petitions I read, most of them are sentiments.
Madam Onochie be placed on oath to repeat what she said as to whether or not she's a member of a political party.
He will only put somebody on oath in a committee if we're having if there was an investigation. We're not investigating. This is not an investigative hearing.
All right, then. This is being a very touchy matter. A lot of you perhaps will remember Senator Gaya when he was on the program. He said about 10 or so petitions have been raised against Mrs. Onochie's nomination for INEC National Commissioner role. But let's get to talk about this and some of the reactions and the consequences of those issues that have been thrown up. I'm being joined by two lawyers, one of the APC, one and the other of the PDP. Sunusi Musa is an APC member and a lawyer, and Anthony Ayilabo is in black, a member of the PDP and a lawyer. Thank you so much, gentlemen, for joining us tonight. And so let's begin the conversation. PDP leaders went to the National Assembly, staged a protest against Ms. Onochie's nomination. But let me start with you, Anthony. With what we have seen at that, the defense and the nomination defense, it does look like she's explained herself. Are you satisfied with that explanation?
Sure. It's very interesting that you ask if I'm satisfied with an explanation that somebody is still perjuring herself under oath. I must remind Ms. Onochie that in a case that she herself instituted in 2016 against Emeka Ezonye, that he had accused her of being Auntie Lolly, the madam of a sex trafficking organization, and she felt so demeaned that she went to court. As of sometime February and March 2020, which she said that 2019 she had resigned. This same Lauretta Onochie, under cross-examination, affirmed to that document that was presented to her under oath, which means that as of today, 9th of July, she is still under a court-certified oath, a member of the APC. That matter has not been dispensed with in the FCT High Court. It's coming up sometime in September. Now, how do you now tell me that that person is no longer a member of APC when she has affirmed under oath and in court? So that matter has not been discharged from court, That matter was handled by an APC lawyer, Femi, a current minister, Festus Keyamo. So now how do you now begin to turn back and say that you are no longer a member of APC when you still have a life, that matter is still alive in court? It has not been dispensed with. She has not gone to withdraw that matter. She has not gone to recant her oath, which she affirmed under cross-examination on 2 days. On March 20th and 26th, she affirmed this matter. She affirmed this under cross-examination that she is a member of the APC. I wonder why now she's now going to the National Assembly shamelessly to go and say that she's no longer a member of the APC. We have seen several tweets from her confirming that she's a member of APC. I have had several debates with this lady. She's a member of APC. She's a staunch supporter of the president. And constitutionally, we have on several shows stated the several sections of the Constitution, the 3rd chapter of the Constitution, Section F, which clearly states that a partisan member of any political party is not allowed near the sanctity of INEC. What do you want to go and do there? You want to go and pollute it? Are there no offices that the APC can, if they want to give her a gift of performance, or say because she has supported her, they want to give her a gift, they can gift her, maybe even this NDDC board coming up, they can put her there. We don't really mind. That doesn't concern us. As far as we are concerned, when it comes to the sanctity of INEC, we will protest. In fact, we are not even going to stop there. If the National Assembly, by one ill fate, decides that they are going to allow this unholy action to go through, we will still go to court. There's still a constitutional provision that restricts her from being a member of INEC. And we will contest it. And any election she participates in will be questioned based on these same exigent circumstances. We will question this because you cannot have an unfit, an unfair, an uncredible umpire in any election. The perception of that election will be ruined.
Let me allow Sunusi. Sunusi, you heard what Anthony his side of his perspective to this matter. How do you react to that?
Well, I had my learned friend, but let me say that he's trying to confuse the general public. He said this is a witness statement that must have been taken, said in 2016. Of course, when she come to testify, she must confirm that is her statement, and she stood by that. What am I saying? She was there yesterday. She has never denied being a member of the APC. She has never denied being a supporter of the president. And in fact, if we need a credible people, it's people like her who will not disown what they were. But she said APC has done a revalidation exercise and she has not re-registered. This is clearly stated. And APC has, by God's grace, I had the opportunity to participate in the activities of their registration. I have the opportunity to participate in some of the primaries that were held just recently for the by-election. What was used was the new register. In other words, what is ever standing before and the new registration revalidation exercise, anybody whose name is not in the new register is not a member of the APC. And yesterday she wanted to take an oath, but some members of the PDP refused to allow her, saying that they were not doing investigation. But this is a committee that has received plethora of petitions, and they want to take up on those petitions. And they were conducting investigation based on that. So how will you now come and say that she's a member of the party? No, she is not. And my friend is saying that they will challenge validity of election because Ms. Onochie is a member. By God's grace, I have been a participant in many election litigation, and to the best of my knowledge, neither in the Constitution nor in the Electoral Act that says grounds of challenging election is that a member of the electoral body was a member of a political party. That's not the issue. So as far as I'm concerned, she has not breached any law. The provision of the first schedule he's talking about, what he's saying is that as at the time of appointment, the person shall not be a member of a political party. Now, the issue is, Is it saying that you shouldn't have never been a member of a political party? Certainly that is not what the Constitution says. It's only saying as at the time of appointment, a person shall not be a member of a political party. And as at today, Lauretta Onochie has not been appointed. She's in the process of being appointed, and she has come before the public. She has said it clearly. She was a member of the APC. She is no more a member of the APC, and she has not breached any law. But if you have any other thing, bring it. But as far as that issue is concerned, as far as the law is concerned, there is nothing to hold against Madam Onochie. Nothing, absolutely nothing, to the best of my understanding of the Constitution of the law.
So let's look at it. I will allow Anthony to come in. Interestingly, both of you are lawyers, and so you might be debating on the basis of law and the Constitution tonight. But let me ask you, Mr. Musa, the appointment of Miss Onochie is a political appointment, and that is partisan, isn't it? On moral grounds, if it's not law, can she be considered for the role at INEC?
Well, let me say that the senators of the Federal Republic of Nigeria took an oath of office to protect and defend the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. And if you want to say that in the exercise of their function, they should not confirm the appointment of Mrs. Onochie, then you must state specifically the provision of the Constitution that she has breached. If you don't have that, morality is quite relative, you know. You may think something is immoral to you. I may not think it is immoral. And in fact, when you bring the issue of morality, you are talking of subjectivity. And at this stage, is whose subjective judgment is needed? Is the person who has the power to appoint, who is the president. So if the president, in his own judgment, he don't see anything wrong in doing that, you cannot impose your own judgment on him. Absolutely, you cannot. As long as he has not breached any law, your own view of what ought to be done cannot be the view of what the president of what ought to be done. Purely is your own view, and you can hold it. One day when you become the president or the governor, you can do it according to that view. But for now, the person with the power, he didn't see it that way. Thank you.
All right. Let me allow Mr. Anthony to respond to, what would you like to, how do you like to respond to Mr. Musa's defense? His submission.
It's very interesting that this is a government and a party, a political party that came in on a nuance of change, on a nuance of doing the right thing. And my brother can sit down here as a lawyer and say somebody who deposed to an affidavit and under cross-examination affirmed that these statements are true as at 2020. And she said in 2019 she was no longer a member of the party. And he seems to think that that affirmation doesn't carry the weight of law. But we'll have to test this out in a court. I assure him that this is something that should be tested in a court of law, but also in a court of morality and principles. How can you, a president who inherited the gift of democracy as an opposition leader who won an election and was given that election, to come in now to muddy the waters, pollute INEC with a staunch card-carrying member of the APC? Let me tell you something. Do you think the people who framed that constitution, and he knows that in interpreting any law, there are certain rules which you use in interpreting the law. You are going to look at the law and say, what was the intent of the lawmakers when they made this law? The intent of the lawmakers was to bar anybody with partisan interest from participating as an umpire in an election. You're violating the sense, the context of these particular framers of this constitutional provision when they have asked for non-party. So anybody, as a member of PDP now, I can become the chairman of INEC. By the time PDP assumes power or takes power in 2023, I only resign a day before I go for my screening and say I have resigned. I'm no longer a member of a political party. Here I am presenting myself as the chairman of INEC. That is what my brother here would want to suggest. It's the same thing as saying an armed robber will come to court and say, yesterday I resigned from being an armed robber. I'm no longer an armed robber. That clears him from being an armed robber. The same thing. And we keep trying to convolute issues. We keep trying to mesmerize the public and deceive them and continue to mislead them into thinking that we're doing the right thing when we are obviously carrying on in a wrong act, an act that is capable of truncating this democracy. People right now have a perception crisis with the Independent National Electoral Commission conducting free, fair, and credible elections. And you still want to model it up by putting a staunch member of the APC, a supporter of the Buhari media organization, non-deniable. I've had debates with this individual. Can I ask a question, Shehu? If you ask me, what special interest, what special gift does Lauretta Onochie possess that we are putting her in INEC, or where the president nominated her for? What is she going to do there? What level of input does she have to present to the Independent National Electoral Commission as an individual? What is she bringing to the table? These are the things that we must ask. I mean, as somebody who can deny.
Mr. Hilabo, aside the issue of whether or not she's a member of a political party, which is it's cast in the Constitution, and the Constitution says that if she's able to defend her way through that, is there any other grounds in which you think makes her unfit for the role from your own perspective?
Again, I wouldn't go as far as to impugn the character, but if you want to look at the case in which she's in court today, the substance of that case, I think you will find enough grounds in terms of morality. But the question is, the perception of INEC being an independent electoral body, the sanctity of INEC must be preserved by all. It doesn't matter what political party. The thing that bothers me the most is that someone can come here and sit down and defend the indefendable. How can you, someone who will come to TV, throw insults at people for supporting their political party, saying, I am a staunch member of APC, I am defending APC, has gone to court to swear an affidavit. Then you think that the perception of that body that will be seen to conduct any election that people can, that conveys sovereignty, on any governor, any government, then that is the same institution that you want to appoint your personal assistant on media to. This negates the entire construct of may Gaskia, may Tusea, may clean and clear records. Because how can you come to Nigerians and say, I'm going to do right by you, and you have done wrong by them at every step of the way?
All right, Mr. Musa, this is not the first time Ms. Onochie is being rejected by the National Assembly. So what has changed between then and now?
Yes, let me just put it this way. My friend is saying that APC came to power on the mantra of change. And yes, we are bringing change. Under the PDP from 2003, it is not a news, it is not something in the hide. They appointed resident electoral commissioners who were card-carrying members.
Did you see me supporting it?
Can we have some decorum, please? When you are talking, I did not respect. Card-carrying members of the PDP were appointed resident electoral commissioners, and nothing happened. Under this administration, the president nominated somebody, I think, from either Osun or Ekiti, who came before the National Assembly. And it was confirmed by the same committee, majority of them who are members of the APC, that he is indeed a member of the APC. And he was rejected by the Senate. That is the change that we have brought. But under PDP, no, the same National Assembly that was, populated by the PDP shamelessly confirmed that appointment. And even yesterday, when you see what the member of the committee, Senator Bamidele, said, yes, he was there with the intent of rejecting her appointment if she was a member of the APC. But having heard her own side of the story, he now changed his mind. This is the change APC is bringing. This is what we lacked during the PDP. No morality, no legality. They do things that are unacceptable, that Nigerian people abhor.
But the question that I asked, the question that I asked earlier as to what has changed from when the Senate or the National Assembly rejected the same nominee, and now that they are debating whether or not she's fit for the role. This is not the first time she's been rejected.
Certainly, and this is the beauty of democracy. And this is not the first time. You remember late Boris Shade? The president nominated him for ministerial appointment. He was rejected. He also represented him again, and he was appointed. So The president presented her to them. They rejected her appointment. And in the wisdom of the president, he now decided to send her name again. And they are doing their work now. We don't know whether they will still reject it or they will confirm her. This is also part of the change that the APC is bringing. Unlike before, when you see things that are done in behind the doors. And mark you, because of this, the chairman of the committee, who is a member of the APC, decided to invite the entire press to come and witness what will happen. This is very commendable.
All right, we need to leave it at that. But Anthony,
yes.
Anthony, let me give you 20 seconds to respond because we need to go now.
This strange change, my friend is touting and saying that this is change where somebody who doesn't merit or has no content to be in a position should be given that position. And just to answer the question, 9 months ago when she was rejected, she was still a member of APC. It was after that rejection she refused to validate her registration, but it still doesn't make her not to be an APC member. She is a very staunch, and you see, again, we are talking about INEC. INEC is all about perception. If INEC conducts an election, that is why you have foreign bodies review the actions of INEC and give their perception reports on INEC. How are they, if Yaga is against it, if every single election monitoring body in Nigeria is against this singular action, out of 200 million people, are there no other people the president can recommend? Why is he recommending Lauretta Onochie to the Nigerians?
Mr. Anthony Ahilebo, member of the PDP and a lawyer. Mr. Sunusi Misa, a member of the APC and also a lawyer. Thank you so much, gentlemen, for coming tonight, and thank you so much for your perceptions and your thoughts on the matter. Well, that's how we end the show today. Thank you so much, everyone, for watching. I'm Sean Wakimale. Bye for now.